Welcome to Wedding Talk. I'm Peter.
And I'm Nina.
And today, should you invite your kids to the wedding?
This is a tough question for brides, I think. I think they think, I have friends who maybe have kids and, should I have the kids? Should I invite them? And is it bad if I don't? I think everybody has a different thought on it. Now, we're parents, so of course, I never mind when there's kids at a wedding because I am a parent and because I understand.
Right.
We actually have personally done a wedding where there was over 20 children there and like very small children.
And it was awesome.
It was actually, I was nervous, a little bit nervous, and honestly, it was one of the most fun weddings we've ever been to.
Yeah.
There's an energy that kids bring that nobody else can. They're the first ones to get on the dance floor. They're the first ones to, they're not nervous about anything.
They're not shy,
no.
And it's the way that the adults should be as well.
Yeah, it is. They're a great example. But there are a couple of options. Of course, you could have a wedding and you could, decide, that you're not going to invite the kids. You could hire a nanny to be on site at the actual venue, which we've seen as well, where there might be a separate conference room and there's a few nannies in there so that the parents, when they want to go and visit their children, they can go and do that if people are okay with that.
But they have to have something for them to do as well.
They have to have something for them to do. So let's say you do invite the kids to
let me rephrase that. You don't have to have something for them to do, but it would be a nice thing for them. Because, listen,
that's what keeps them out of trouble.
Kids sometimes get bored.
They do.
And it's a lot of adult communication. And if your kids are good with that, then that's fine. But other kids, they want to hang out with other kids and they just want to have fun for a little while. And if they blow off that little bit of steam, then they're going to be happy as well.
Yeah. I think number one thing is key. If there are kids there, make sure somebody's watching them to keep them away from the cake, because that's always the thing. I always see them running around the cake and I'm like, no, right? That's the only thing. You don't want them to dip their finger in it or anything. But most of the time, you don't have issues with stuff like that. I find that there's a lot of things that people can do to alleviate that stress. So one thing is ask the venue, or the venue will suggest, to feed the children before all of the guests get their entrees. So instead of them sitting there for 20 minutes at a dinner table, which is very hard for them to do as it is, what they'll normally do is they'll bring out their entree while everybody's having salad.
Yep.
That way they can sit there, they can pick, they can do
because it'll take a little longer, and you know what?
They'll take a little longer. When
kids are hungry, when a kid says I'm hungry, they're not saying I'm hungry 20 minutes from now. They're saying I'm hungry right now.
Yeah, exactly. So that's something that I find really does help, because then the food at least keeps them busy throughout the dinner process.
Yeah.
And usually your entertainment, sometimes they'll get up and start dancing as the entree is kind of happening. And that's okay too, right? That's okay. It's not an embarrassing thing. You should be happy that they're starting to get the party going, and that's totally fine.
Now, what about for the couples that say, you know what? I don't want any kids at my wedding. And, I just wanted, because, I don't want kids running around and being crazy and everything like that.
That's completely fine, but don't get offended if parents say no to coming to your wedding. That's the only thing that I find is the issue with that.
Yeah.
Then people get offended and say, well, they didn't come. And what you have to understand is, they may not be comfortable with somebody else watching their child. That child may never have had a babysitter before, right? And has never been in the care of somebody else. So you do have to respect their decision, and that's where you're going to have to leave it at.
And that might not happen all the time, because I think today, a lot of people are respectful that, listen, if the bride and groom, they don't want to have kids, then that's fine.
Or they get a date night out. Some parents will be like, it's a date night for me, so it's great.
But I think the takeaway is that if you do have kids, it doesn't mean that it's a crazy, out of control party. No. Sometimes, and most of the time, in fact, I think every time, for us, it's been absolutely amazing, because the kids just bring a whole different energy, and it's just more of a whole family experience, I think.
They do. And, I think there's a few simple things that you can do, like some people will do like glow sticks for them, or like glasses, like shades, so when they're on the dance floor, it's
I like those myself.
Yeah, exactly. Who doesn't like that? Or like bubbles or something, there's a lot of different things. And I've also seen, like, at more upscale outdoor weddings, you'll see like the oversized chessboard that's like the pieces are like this big, right? You would see that at a resort somewhere, like at a beach resort, but that's something that they're now starting to do for children to keep them kind of busy while dinner's winding down and everything. So there's a lot of things you can do, and you can go on Pinterest, of course, and find some amazing ideas on there on how to keep kids kind of occupied during the wedding, or just like things at their table. They have these like scramblers and stuff like that that they can do at their own table to try to keep them occupied.
It's true.
So don't be afraid of it, but definitely talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's recap a little bit. Bringing kids to a wedding, and should you invite the kids to your wedding? And that is, I would say, absolutely.
I would say do it, but if you're not comfortable with it, then just don't get offended by people saying no if it's not, if they can't, work that out with
and
their
if you
family.
do have them, have something for them to do if
That's
you
right.
can, so then they're not bored. Yeah, keep them busy.
Keep them busy and feed them first. That would be the things I would say to try to alleviate any of that stress. But in the end, the choice is up to you. It's your big day.
Wedding Talk with Pete and Nina. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye.